Hello, my people. Hello, family. Good day to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone you're listening to this, thank you for joining me on today's episode of Daily Mind Shift. I'm not taking your attention for granted. You know that. You know that we're family, right? I'm not taking your attention for granted. Thank you for honoring me with your attention to come to this space and listen. If you've not joined this Telegram group, if you're listening to this on WhatsApp snippets, go to the Telegram channel that I shared the link with you and join the group. Share it with your contact also. Daily Mind Shift is just a community where you just take a particular audio, play it, and then you change your mind. You learn something new. You become better for it because we need all the help that we can get in today's world, all right? So today's episode is anchored on this particular statement. One thing to keep today: keep your standards high. One thing for you to keep today is keep your standards high. Do not lower your standard for anybody. Do not lower your principles because of something. Do not lower your standard unless you don't have any standard at all. Some people don't have principles, they don't have value systems, they don't have standards. Okay, I'm not talking to you. If you have a standard, if you have a principle, do not lower it for anybody. Do not lower it. I'm not saying you should be rigid about all your life and all that shit. I'm not saying you should just be rigid and not be flexible. I'm saying when it comes to your standard, keep it high. We're going to discuss how to keep it. Apologies. We're going to discuss how to keep your standards high, all right? Having a high standard is important because it sets the bar for the quality of life you want to have. That is what standard is all about. It sets the bar for the quality of life that you want to live. That is what standard will give you. Standard will help you set the bar. This is how you want your life to be. This is the type of peace you want to have in your life. This type of the wealth you want to have. This type of vacation you want to have. This is the type of kids you want to raise. This type of partners you want to have in your life. This type of boyfriend, this type of girlfriend, this type of husband, this type of wife that you want to have. Keep your standards high. So anything that doesn't meet that standard, you bounce. You bounce. Do you understand me? That's just it. Or else you have to lower your standard because maybe society is demanding for something. If whatever society is demanding for will not meet your standard, can you live your life as it relates to your intentions, as it relates to your purpose, as it relates to your happiness? So having a high standard is important because it sets the bar for the quality of life that you want to live. So I want you to keep your standards high. Do not lower your standard due to external pressures. That's what most people do. They lower their standard because of external pressure and because they lack confidence in the standard they have set for themselves. So they lower it. Are you like that? Stop it. Develop confidence. Go and listen to the episode of yesterday. Develop confidence. Keep your confidence on. Then do not lower your standard because of pressure. Demand for the excellence on you that you want and then stick to it. Stick to driving for excellence. How can you do it? How can you keep your standards high? Define your value. That's what I started with. Define your values. Do you even have value system? Do you have principles that are guiding your life? Do you have principles that are guarding your life? Do you have standards that are rooted in your values? Do you have what you tolerate and what you don't and cannot tolerate? Do you even have it at all? Most of us don't. That's why it's easy for you to be fickle. That's why when you meet people like me that have standards, that have principles and value system, you think we are rigid, you think we are stubborn, you think we are bad people, in quote. I'm used to those type of labels. So, but this is what I want for my life, all right? Anything that doesn't meet up to it is gone. No matter who you are, okay? No matter what you are, it's done. Do you understand? So take time to define what is important to you. Take time to define what you stand for. What do you stand for? If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. You've heard that before. So what do you stand for? It will help you when you define your values. You will be able to set clear and specific standards for yourself. Define your values and set boundaries. That's another way for you to keep your standards high. Set boundaries. Set boundaries. Go and look into your life right now. Any country that doesn't have boundary is not a country at all. Do you hear what I said? Any country or state without a boundary, without a border, without a boundary doesn't have a country at all. That's not a country. That's just an open space. Boundaries define a state. Boundaries define a town. Boundaries define a country. Boundaries define a continent. So you need to have a boundary. If you don't have a boundary, you are just non-existent. You are just there. You are just there. You are technically a non-entity. So set boundaries that are essential to maintaining your high standards. Establishing boundaries means saying no to things that doesn't align with your values. Saying no to things that don't align with your principles. Saying no to things that don't align with your priorities. That's what setting boundaries means. When you don't talk somehow, you say, I don't talk like that. I don't allow you to talk to me like that. You are being disrespectful right now. I will not tolerate how you talk to me. That is boundaries. Come on, man. Many of you don't have it. You don't. You allow somebody to talk to you anyhow and you go home and start crying. Come on. Can't you stand up to that person and say, see, I will not allow you to talk to me like that. I've gotten in trouble with people, but at least I've been able to stand up for what I believe is me. You cannot talk to me anyhow and expect us to still be in a relationship. No, I can tolerate one or two jokes, but when it is becoming affirmative and when it is becoming unhealthy habits, I will stop it. That's me. I set a boundary for that. There is a level that you will get to and that I will cut you off because of how you talk to me or because of what you do to me. There is a level. There are things that I will not tolerate, and I want you to also imbibe that. Set boundaries. Hold yourself accountable to whatever standard you've set for yourself. That is how you can keep your standards high. Hold yourself accountable. It means taking responsibility for your actions, taking responsibility for your choices, taking responsibility for your business, taking responsibility for your job, taking responsibility for your work, taking responsibility for your decisions. Hold yourself accountable. That is setting your standards high. That's how you can keep your standards high. Committing to follow through on your goals, committing to follow through on your words, committing to follow through on your standards. Hold yourself accountable. Are you responsible? Do you take responsibility or do you blame other people for your messes? Come on, man. Hold yourself accountable. Do you understand? That's how you can keep your standards high. And also, to help yourself keep your standards high, surround yourself with people that have high standards. That's just it. You won't feel awkward. Do you understand? You won't feel under the pressure of lowering your standard when everybody around you have higher standard than you yourself. It will not be difficult to keep your standards high when your immediate network have high standards. No, it will not be difficult. The reason why it's difficult for you to keep your standards high is because your immediate network have low or no standards. So surround yourself with like-minded people. Surround yourself with people who share your values, who share those high standards, who can keep you accountable, who can keep you motivated. Surround yourself with those people. Seek out relationships with people who will inspire you. Relationship with people who will challenge you to be your best self. That's what it means to keep your standards high. Surround yourself with like-minded people. All right? Be willing to make sacrifices. Be willing to let go of relationship that will not help your standards. Be willing. Can you sacrifice your parents for this? Can you sacrifice your family members that are dragging you down for this? Can your wife be sacrificed for this? Can your husband be sacrificed for this? Can your kids be sacrificed for this? Family is what you made of it. Don't let anybody guilt trip you with their definition of family. Yes, everybody wants blood to be family, but sometimes your blood will drag you down. So, are you willing to make sacrifices? Maintaining high standards often requires you to make sacrifices, all right? It means you say no to things that don't align with you. Things that might be tempting, things that might be convenient, but things that are not standard. So, be willing to make sacrifice. Let me finish by saying this. Continuously evaluate your standards. Continuously adjust your standards. Your values and your priorities will change over time. The more you grow, the more your values and your priorities change. And it's okay. It's okay for you to adjust. It's okay for you to evaluate your standard. Remember what to keep today. Keep your standards high. Thank you. We talk tomorrow.